I'm Dr. George Flynn, and today we're going to talk about showing appreciation. On In-Depth TV, we're going to go in-depth to showing appreciation. And some people say, well, I show appreciation all the time. I say thank you. Some people go so far as to say, I appreciate that, but do you mean it? Or do you just say, thank you very much? What do you do? How do you say it? What do you do when you say it? And what is your body language when you say it? Do you say, thank you? Or do you say, thank you? You know, there are two different ways of saying all of this. And we're going to get into this just a little bit so that you can show appreciation and everyone watching this can show appreciation. And once we start doing this, it's in the common everyday vernacular terms, it goes viral. And once it goes viral, then the whole mood of a neighborhood, of a city, of a state, of a nation goes up. So let's be the part where it starts viral. Showing appreciation. Now, the way you do this is you get into the people's mind, their attitude. You first understand where they are. Where are they? Are they sad? Are they happy? Are they neutral? Are they angry? Where are they? So first thing you do is to show appreciation is you listen. You give them one of the best gifts of life, listening. And listening, once you start listening, you'll hear things that you never heard before. And those things that you never heard before will change the way you approach everything and everybody. And that's the fun part about it. You get to be a participant in the world, in the moment. You get to live in the moment because, you know, the moment's all you got. Last second is gone. Next second is not here. The only thing you have right now is the moment. And you live in the moment. So let's see how appreciation works. You look at the person's face, the other person's face. You look at how they're standing. Are they standing tall and upright? Are they bent over and sort of depressed? Because when people get bent over, depressed, and inward, it shows they're closed off. And your job is not to break through. They're closed off for a reason. Your job is not to hammer your way through a brick wall. Your job is to approach them where they are. And if you approach them where they are, and all of a sudden you sort of adopt the same body language and the same expressions that they do, then you have a chance to develop some what we call rapport with the person. So you approach them, and this is somebody you know. You're not out trying to approach everybody in the world. Somebody you know or you see, and you say, how are you? And you really mean it. How are you? And you don't just say, you know, if they say, fine, how are you? You say, well, what's going on in your life? And you just ask some general questions. But you approach it, if they're closed off, you don't say, hey, how are you? That's a disconnect. You want to connect. You say, how are you? And if they're, you know, all jolly and everything, say, hey, how are things going? Are things fine for you? Because they may be generally happy, but they may be putting on an act. So we're going to develop a rapport with them where we can actually talk with them actually communicate. Once you do that, you say, you know, I really appreciate, and find something you genuinely appreciate about that person. And it can be the way they dress. It can be the way they comb their hair. It can be anything, something, but in your head, and that's why you're living in the moment here, in your head, you say, what do I really appreciate about this person? The fact that they're on the earth, the fact that they've got a job, the fact that they may not have a job, the fact that they're trying to get a job, the fact that you come up with whatever you can appreciate about them. Let's say they work in a convenience store and they're checking you out and they're bored as can be. And you can tell they're bored because all they're doing all day long is punching that button or that computer and, you know, sliding credit cards and taking money and making change. And they're bored. They're not happy. Or they may be very happy. But if they're not happy, you say, man, this job looks like it's really challenging. And you don't have to say why, because they'll tell you why it's challenging. Say, man, this job's really challenging, or this job is really challenging. They'll say, yeah, it is. You say, what would be the greatest thing that could happen to you to make it not challenging? And they'll smile, and because they're going inside, they'll smile and they may say, I'll win the lottery, or they may say this. And then you would reply, man, all of us would like to win that lottery, wouldn't we? And now you have a rapport. So you have taken them from bored to elevating them to a point of being able to communicate. Now, what if, I know what you're saying, what if they don't respond? What if they say, 95 cents, please? Or what if they just say 95 cents and you pay them the 95 cents and they do not respond? What do? You stop. You don't try to break through because they're not ready to hear it. The next time you're in, you say, how you doing today? And you mean it. You don't just come in and say, how you doing? You come in and say, how you doing today? You were having a tough day the other day, and I really appreciate you being here because I come in here every day, or I come in here every week, or I appreciate you for being here and helping me out. Now, you don't have to mention that they have a good attitude or a bad attitude. You just appreciate them being there. Because otherwise, if they weren't there, you wouldn't be able to get whatever it is you're buying. You wouldn't be able to fill up your gas tank. There's so many things you couldn't do if they weren't there. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. That's a convenience store. That's a grocery store. That's anywhere you're shopping. That's a restaurant. You have given us such good service today. Or if they're giving poor service and they're looking unhappy, you might say, how things going for you today? You doing okay? And they may say, I'm doing fine. And if they do, you say, okay, I'll have the so-and-so, and then you do your order. But some people will be so taken aback that they'll look and say, oh my gosh, somebody is really interested in what's going on with me. That's why you got to be sincere about this. You've got to be genuinely interested in the answer to the question that you ask. And it doesn't have to be complicated. This doesn't have to be a psychotherapy session. This just has to be, okay, here's somebody that is really interested in me as a person, not just me as a waiter, waitress, service technician, getting an oil change, or mowing a lawn, or being my lawyer, or being my doctor, or no, it's you're breaking through that mental barrier that everyone has. You're at least addressing the fact this other person is a person. You're recognizing that by asking them something about them. This is a person. Now, they can respond with, I can't talk about that, or I don't want to talk about that. Then you honor that response. And you say, okay, I'll have the bacon and eggs or whatever you're getting ready to order. You honor their response. And that honors them as a person. And all of a sudden, they know they're recognized. Because so many people go through life and they're not recognized as a person. They're a this and that. You know, the first thing people do when they meet somebody, say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and they say, what do you do? Well, what do you do is not who you are. And I hope you can separate those two. What do you do is just a conversation starter. And you say, well, I'm a thus and so. I'm a nuclear engineer, whatever they want to, whatever. And you say, that is a very interesting thing. I bet it's difficult to get through that school. I bet you've had a lot of challenges and a lot of work and a lot of preparation. And all of a sudden you have recognized them as a person, as a striving person. You know, we're all persons. We're all people on this planet. We're all just trying to get along, and some of us are trying to just get by. But your job, as they say on the, whatever it is, Mission Impossible, your job, if you choose to accept it, is to elevate the mood just a little bit. It doesn't have to be from here to way up here, just a little bit. Make the person, or at least offer to the person that you've interacted with, for you to part and go your separate ways, offer them feeling a little bit better about themselves. Offer them a way to know, well, that person recognized me as a human being. And it's just like, what else could be recognized? If an elevator's coming, hold the door. Or if you're going out of a door, somebody's coming out behind you, hold the door. And they usually say, thank you. And you say, my pleasure, hope you have a good day, rather than you're welcome. Say, my pleasure, hope you have a good day. And it's not the standard response, and it will break through that, you know, all of a sudden, here's somebody saying something that I'm not expecting. And not startles, but it wakes up the other person to know, okay, here's somebody that knows I'm a person, and they're saying, hope I have a nice day. Rather than have a nice day, say, have a nice day. And put some emphasis on different parts of that sentence, not just have a nice day. That means it's just a throwaway sentence. But if you say, I hope you have a nice day, they will look at you like, whoa, what just happened? And that means you have gotten through to them that you appreciate them as a person. And I hope you can try this out, and I hope I catch you doing it, because I'll talk about it. I'm Dr. George Flynn. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a great day and a great life. Thank you. See you next time.